I'm gonna talk about the animated shorts for the Oscars in 2017. So let's get right into it. Borrowed Time was the first movie in the set, and it was probably the most forgettable one in the group. The animation looked typical. It looked generic. It looked like something you would expect from a movie. Regardless, it was a obviously it was a computer generated movie. The story was forgettable. The characters were interesting, but other than that, there wasn't anything I remembered from that movie. I couldn't tell you the story even if I tried. I just know that the title has to do with the death of a sheriff or something. But it was just such a boring, forgettable movie. I enjoyed it when I saw it, but it didn't stick. I didn't leave the theater thinking about that movie because it was just kind of boring. So does that deserve a Oscar? No, I don't want that movie to win an Oscar. I don't think it deserves it at all. At all. Um, the other one was Piper. Piper was a very good movie, unlike Borrowed Time. It's actually really one of my favorites. It's a Pixar film. It was a Pixar short, and I thought it was actually very clever. It was cute. It's stuff you would expect from Pixar. It's kind of a safe bet, to be honest. Obviously, Piper is gonna win the Oscar, and honestly, I do think it kind of deserves it because at least Piper was enjoyable. It was about this baby bird. I don't know what kind of bird it was, but they live by the beach or whatever, and it was afraid of the water, and then it kind of overcame its fear, and it was very cute. It was a very touching movie, and I really enjoyed it. It really it shows how hard Pixar works on their animation, and I think that's why they always win anyway. Is that they have such high amount of detail in their animation. Personally, for me, I personally love style when it comes to animation. Pixar does a lot of good films. I like their animation a lot most of the time, but I love a film that has starking styles and that can stick with me. But Piper, I think, does deserve the Oscar. It's obviously going to get it because it's a Pixar film. But if it wasn't a Pixar film, it still deserves it regardless. I don't think it being Pixar means that it should get an instant Oscar. But I do think Piper is one of those movies that I feel deserves it. Pearl. Pearl was a pretty good movie. I liked that one too a lot actually. At first I thought I was gonna hate it, but it grew on me a lot. The animation is kind of a 2D animation, but it was such a starking, interesting style. It had a lot of cool kind of look. It was almost like looking at a graphic novel almost. Um, but Pearl was really good. It told the story through song, but it wasn't an annoying like musical type deal. It was just a guitar kind of song. Like it was like a kind of like a hippie song, like like a song a college student would be singing. But it was actually pleasant to listen to, and it actually conveyed what it was trying to do. Where it showed this father with his daughter when the daughter was like a kid, and they were living off of like change and all that. Then he got a real job to sustain his family, and then the daughter started to continue the cycle of what he did. It was almost like a cycle of life type movie. It was very good. It was very memorable, and it was charming. I really liked Pearl a lot. If you like music, if you like stories like that, I think it's a good one. It has a lot of rock music as well by the end, but it's a good movie. I like Pearl a lot, and that was coming from a person who doesn't like that kind of music typically. But it grew on me, and I started to like it by the end. And it was a very good movie on its own. The animation style hooked me. The story was good. It was simple enough to where it kind of complemented the song that was playing along with it. So everything about that movie was really good, and it was very well done. Uh, I personally would love to see if this wins an Oscar because it was just such a nice story, and you don't really see that as much. I mean, you see a lot of nice stories, but as a short, I thought it did a very good job with what it was doing, and it was paced very well. It didn't feel like it dragged anywhere, and when certain emotions in that movie came in, the music kind of dropped to match the scene. So the song matched every scene in that movie perfectly. It didn't feel out of place or anything. It was just such a well done movie, and I gotta commend the people who worked on Pearl because with animation you have to work on each frame, and to know instantly that each frame is gonna work with the song is just insane on its own. So I gotta give credit to that movie for that reason. Another one, I don't see it listed in this particular list, but there was two other ones that's not listed here. Is Once Upon a Line. Once Upon a Line is a movie that I feel was animated by a design team, like a design major or something. It was design pleasing. It didn't have full figures. It had like implied lines, like it would have like glasses to obviously show that where his eyes is, his hat, and you see his hands. And it was interesting to look at, but as an animation, I can't really say it was that great because it was just simple. It was like these kind of movies and it's been in almost every single animated short, and I really don't feel like these movies should be even part of them because it's too simplistic. There's nothing about them that makes you want to say, "Wow, what a great movie." And I just wish that we just dropped them all together because this it fits more of like a mini little thing in a animated movie, like if a kid in an animated movie is watching something, this is what they're watching or something. It's just boring and not substantial. Because it just stands out in the sense that it's the most minimal movie in the group. It just looks so bland that you're not gonna remember it. You're just gonna remember maybe the simple story and how lifelike the story is, because the story is about this guy who goes to work every day. He finds a girl. He gets into a relationship with her. They break up. He gets over it, and that's basically the story. It's fine, but no one is gonna leave remembering that story. These movies that are like that never win. They never win at all because they're just so bland and generic. The other one was I can't remember the name, but it's about this old lady that didn't have her head attached to her neck. It was kind of good. I kind of enjoyed it. I liked what it was trying to do because it tried to allude to this old lady who's this other character's mom, who is kind of losing her mind. She's kind of becoming senile. She's kind of on her way to death, basically. And it was good. It was a nice story. The story wasn't bad, and I liked the symbolism, but the animation was just kind of boring to look at. It wasn't anything that was astounding or amazing. I feel like it might have been stop motion, maybe, but I don't think it was. But the animation wasn't that great to begin with. I don't know. It was just okay. It was better than Borrowed Time. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much, and better than Once Upon a Line as far as animation is concerned. The last movie that is on this list is Pear, Cider, and Cigarettes. This one was really one of my favorite ones. The story, it kind of drags. The story's kind of slow. It's about this guy who goes to see his friend who, had a lot of health problems. He was kind of he lived dangerously. And I think the story was kind of relatable to some people because you always have that one friend who either drinks too much, smokes cigarettes too much, or he does stuff like that, and then he ends up getting into these health problems, and he gets into this life of addiction, and it's good. I like the story. It just kind of dragged where you just kind of you shouldn't be watching this movie and saying to yourself, geez, when will this character die? Like, you shouldn't be thinking that, but the movie kind of makes you think that because it's so slow with what it's doing that you're just kind of done with it. And that is my only complaint with Pear, Cider, and Cigarettes, is that it just drags story-wise. The animation is really good. It's actually really one of my favorites. This one, I think, should get the Oscar, definitely, because it does so many interesting things visually that is just so unique and different. Like I can't remember a movie that did something like that. No, not even an animated short that I've seen in the past has done something like this. It was so unique and different. It was like looking at a comic book that came to life, but it was just so interesting how they filmed it, and I really enjoyed it. It was such a fun movie to look at visually, and the music was really well done too. Everything added so well to the animation. It was just the saddest part of that movie was just how slow it was. The length and the pacing were the only things that killed that movie, that particular short film, because it just goes on and on and on and on. But the visuals is pleasing to look at. The music is good. The dialogue is good too. Like, yeah, it might drag, but the dialogue is very good. It's a done in narration, but it's narrated through the end. You're seeing everything through this one character's eyes. So I really liked Pear Cider and Cigarettes. It's a movie I do recommend people to check out. But I don't think it's gonna win the Oscar. I think it's gonna go to Piper because it's Pixar. Pixar always wins. So yeah, that's my choice for the Oscars. Uh, for the animated shorts at least. Hope you like these. I hope you like this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. I have a few other videos I'm trying to work on as well. Hope you guys enjoy this video. See you in the next one. Enjoy the Oscars as well.